Hi everyone, Michael James here. So really quick, I just wanted to talk about change. Change is uncomfortable, but it's worth it. It's scary, but it's worth it. One of the hardest things that I've ever had to do in my life is change. Change my habits, change the way that I do things, change the way that I see things. And I've realized something along the way. Change is really, really scary, but the fear of change is probably about 1,000 times worse than the actual discomfort that you get from going through those changes. And when I look back on things, I would rather make those changes and change what I'm doing in my life to make it better rather than live in regret, because I know that it's going to be uncomfortable a lot of times when I'm trying to improve my life, and I know it's not going to be easy. Sometimes it is, and a lot of times the fear makes it seem like it's a lot harder than it really is. My main point is when you have the opportunity to change your life for the better, the sooner that you do it, the easier it is. The longer that you put it off, the more that fear builds up, and the harder it is to overcome it. I remember I learned this a long time ago. There is a part of your brain, I can't remember what it's called right now, but there's a part of your brain and it's kind of like a wall. And what that wall does is it protects you. And at the same time, it also stands in your way. When you encounter that wall, the typical times that you're going to run into that is when you're trying to do things differently, to make a change. And the reason that wall is there to protect you is because we're afraid of being hurt. Nobody wants to be in pain. But a lot of times you have to go through a little bit of pain in order to get to pleasure. And that pleasure is a lot better and a lot more valuable and a lot more powerful than living your life in fear and discomfort, because that discomfort doesn't go away until you change something. So the reason that I decided to post or record and post this video is because I've been going through a lot of changes in my life recently, and I've had to deal with some pretty hard things. I recently moved out to LA. I've been living out here for about 6 months. I am self-employed right now, so I work from home or Starbucks or wherever I decide to work from, and I love it. It's also one of the toughest things I've ever done, but I don't regret it. The reason that I don't regret it is because, yeah, it's been hard at times. It's been pretty tough along the way. But I've spent a lot of my life, the majority of my life even, um, living in pain because I was too afraid to actually make the changes that I knew I needed to make. And it's held me back for a really long time, and it's stopped me from reaching a lot of my goals. Sometimes it's been to the point where I am so afraid of those changes that I don't even set goals because I am melting like an ice cream cone. All right, it is recording. Hi everyone, Michael James here. So today I just wanted to, so really quick, I just wanted to talk about change. Change is uncomfortable, but there's something that I learned probably 5 years ago, when I was doing door-to-door sales, and that was actually one of the toughest things I ever did. I started doing it when I was 18 years old, and I actually did pretty well. In the beginning, it was horrible. I remember going out and sitting on curbs and just doing everything I possibly could to avoid knocking on another door because I was so paralyzed by fear. And one of the things that I found was actually the first person that I heard it from was Tony Robbins, and he talked about positive affirmations and how he uses them. And I stopped. When I was doing door-to-door sales, I did positive affirmations every day, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, because I knew that it would help me to get that, or to build that confidence in myself and be able to get everything done that I needed to get done, and help me to accomplish my goals and my dreams a lot faster. And I'll be honest, I stopped doing those for a few years. And during those few years, those have probably been the toughest years of my life because I feel like I lost myself along the way. And I felt pretty lost for a while there. But I think what's made the biggest difference in my life has been using those positive affirmations, setting new goals, and not just writing down goals, but actually reading them out loud, visualizing myself reaching them. And the same thing with the positive affirmations. A lot of people make the mistake of just writing them down or just thinking about them. They don't even take the time to write it down. And so if you're going to use positive affirmations, you need to do three things. You need to write it, read it out loud, and see yourself actually being that way or achieving that thing in your life. A mistake that a lot of people make when they're writing positive affirmations is they include negatives in their positive affirmations, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So when they're writing it, they include words like no and not and don't, and the problem with that is, let me give you an example. One of my positive affirmations that I use personally is I am a powerful speaker. And a lot of people make the mistake of writing it as a negative. And so like a good way to explain that would be, I am not afraid of speaking, or I am not afraid of public speaking. And the problem with that is your brain doesn't hear the negative when you say it. And so what I mean by that is, instead of it coming out like I am not afraid, it comes out like I am afraid, because your brain doesn't register the not, it skips right over it. And so when you're writing your positive affirmations, just make sure that they are positive, 100% positive. So I say things like, I am a powerful speaker. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm the healthiest I've ever been, and I get healthier every day. And so those are some good examples, or some things that you could use for your positive affirmations. If you noticed while I was going through them also, they're all present tense, and some of them I'll even put into past tense, like I've already achieved those goals and those things that I want in my life. One of the things you want to keep in mind is make sure that when you're saying them, they are not in future tense. And so what I mean is, don't say I will do this eventually, or I will be powerful someday, because your brain hears someday. It hears that eventually you'll get there, but you're not there right now. And so the more times that you tell yourself that you are that person already, right now, the faster that your brain will reprogram itself and help you to become that person that you want to be. I just wanted to let you guys know I'll be creating new videos every week for helping people to achieve their goals, change their life, pretty much the things that I just talked to you about. And if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and send me a message. All right, that's it for today, guys. Have a great night.